Okay, so here's a couple interesting facts. There's a Holtzman engine, a Chimerki, and there is a Kwisatz in the Imperium row. There's also a Slurp, but we can't really pick around the Kwisatz. We know pretty reliably that Kwisatz does not actually get picked, right? It gets detonated. It gets detonated and then we don't get it. Even if we're playing Helena, we don't get it. Which is really sad because it's such a fun card. So do we do something else instead? Well, I could go Beast. Romber is okay. The techs are good enough to suggest maybe Romber would be good. Beast is reliable here, but a little bit boring. The Spice might help us with the Holtzman. I think Helena is fine. Let's go Beast. Beast consistently can get what he wants in second position. And if I pick Helena and pass Beast to first position, then I have the problem of Beast potentially beating me to Swordmaster. Okay, so this hand wouldn't have been that good on Helena. I mean, it would have been flexible, but it wouldn't have been that good. So she takes Smuggling, so now we're out of options. We can't go double fold space because we don't have faction. We can't smuggle, so we're kind of in a rut. We can kind of sneak into the combat. We could maybe get a little bit of spice, but overall, we're not in a great spot here. Could go grab artillery first action. And then we have a dagger that we can use immediately. I don't hate that, but I think what we want to do is we want to open with Arakeen, see if we can draw into better options. Signet Ring is a better option. Let's throw in 2. I don't actually want to win the combat. I just want to place. And then we can Signet Ring to tech negotiation to buy the artillery. And then we're at that point we're revealing 8, and then we maybe win the combat whether or not we want to. Or alternatively, we can play Signet Ring to Imperial Basin. I don't think that makes a ton of sense. We kind of wanted this to be a Spice combat, not a Solari combat. Armand is up at 6 strength, so I think the artillery... Okay, well, we just can't do it. Helena just grabs it from us. That's annoying. So now we either have to Signet Ring to a basin spot, or we have to experiment to a basin spot. I'm not that impressed with the cards in the Talaxu row. The Slurp is cool. The others do not excite me. I am okay getting second here to Armand. So I guess we're going to play the experimentation. At 3 persuasion, I don't see any need to detonate. Although Mapes could be decent. Liaison could be decent. What's unfortunate? He doesn't have any place he can go if he doesn't have faction. Yeah. Yep, that's what happened. Locked out of the combat. Assassination mission makes sense. Would I take an initiate? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, is it better than liaison? Probably not. Unless we start seeing BG combo type stuff, and then yes. I kind of like Bounty Hunter, though. I would take Bounty Hunter. Freighter Fleet's better than that. So I think we open with the presumption that we're getting Freighter Fleet. That's dangerous, but... and then do we want the Bounty Hunter? Card probably isn't nearly as good in Immortality as it was in X. But I'm okay taking it. So we end up tying Armand unless he end up picking up a combat card at Carthag. Which is okay with me. Cool, okay. So he gets to spend a card to not gain Solarian Intrigue, so that's good with me. Yeah, it's a point, but I don't want him competing with me on Swordmaster. So that's a win as far as I'm concerned. So if we go Wealth, Hardy Warriors, we can retreat 2 of our troops and get to 8. Or we can go Haga Basin, Conspire. Isn't that just better? Because then we can keep the economic positioning. Well, one of them goes to faction twice, and the other one only goes to faction once. Ooh, there's spy sats. But this plays our experimentation, so I think this is better. Let's put the 2 troops in just in case. If something goes wrong, we can just respond with economic positioning, and it's not a big deal. Okay, Armand blocking on Fold Space. I think I would have smuggled in his shoes, but I can see why he might want to do that. 5 Persuasion here. Are we better off with a Dissecting Kit or a Firm Grip? That's tough. That is tough, actually. Because we're probably going to have that choice to make, right? I think Firm Grip is better. Although this can be like 2 points. We've already shuffled the deck. So maybe we want to play Diplomacy and not seek allies here, because 5 Persuasion probably doesn't do anything useful for us, but 4 Persuasion does. And keeping the seek allies around is better. Okay. Seek allies, or Firm Grip gone. Now we could detonate the row to try to get a good 5. But when we have the Dissecting Kit available, I don't see any reason to do that. Nobody's threatening the Kwisatz, so I think we do this. Okay, it's a good card. I don't know that I would necessarily want to use economic positioning here, but if I'm not getting first or second, I think I probably should, and right now I'm not getting first. Retreating also does help us get to the victor later. Of course, I have no spice and no water, so perhaps I'm in a reasonable position to stay in the combat. Surprisingly, nobody has detonated yet. Dissecting kit. I'm not going to buy a liaison, I don't think. It's going to take too long to show up. By the time that I see that liaison, Kwisatz will have been determined one way or the other. Right? I think probably so. Okay. The inevitable detonation finally occurred, so Yuna is one short of being able to get this opulence. We have 2 research already, so we're in a pretty good spot for the detecting kit. I don't know if we want to retreat here or not. I mean, a water and a spice is, like, pretty decent, especially when the techs are so powerful. But if we want to get to the victor later, we probably want to have a troop advantage on Yuna. So I think it's reasonable to retreat too. I only wish I had 3 in so that I could still reap the benefits. The problem with playing the card is that we can't use it as an endgame point. And it could be an in-game point with this opulence out. Well, what does the 3 Solari itself give me? Well, maybe easier high council access. It's a Mentat or so. It's potentially a Dreadnought. It's nothing crazy. I'm going to do it. That way it's out of my hand. We don't get clogged up later. Okay, Armand gets to Interstellar, but by round 3, you're kind of late on that front. Deferred agent, what? Okay. So, I don't know that we want to trigger to the victor on this. It's just more Solari than we need, unless we get the opulence, in which case it's pretty good. We don't need to rush the Swordmaster right now. Nobody has a voice, so we get to do something else. Draw pile is nothing special, so I don't know that Mentat makes a ton of sense. We probably want to play Signet Ring. Let's go Arakeen. Experimentation. Okay. We don't have to commit a lot to this, but I would put 3 troops in. It's worth it for the resources alone. Cool. Armand going to Carthag means now we can bounty hunter into Carthag. Although, again, we're starting to get to this point where we have more Solari than we need, but, you know, that's fine. We can get a High Council seat, right? So, there's an outlet there. Now, Helena does have artillery, so we need to be careful with her. Again, I just don't care that much about this combat. But denying it to the other players is powerful. She bought a scout. Oh, wow. Okay. She's really interested in the artillery game plan. And the deployment of the troop implies that she's got more in hand. You double-crossed the wrong person. Helena is the person that's gonna win the combat. Yeah, see? It's fine. I wasted some troops. Should have known better. Bounty Hunter to Carthage still, because it's money and intrigues. Demand respect. Oh man, they really want me to win the combat, don't they? If I deploy 3, I still just tie her up, so there's not really a point to it. Chair Dog is interesting. I don't think we have a good target for that. We are kind of low on persuasion, though. Liaison's fine. It's not what I want to buy, but it's an okay compromise. Helena is in kind of a worrisome spot in terms of her dagger situation. Don't love the hand. I mean, having the detecting kit is nice, I guess, in the sense that we can trash out a dagger, but I don't love the hand. It looks like something like to the effect of Mentat High Council. The problem that we're currently having is that we don't have any faction in our deck. We have diplomacy and that's it. Hopefully people's resources are exhausted and I can raid stockpiles here. We'll see. I don't think anyone's going for High Council this round. Right? Armand and Helena are going for their Sword Masters. Una doesn't have the money to do it. Which means that we can go Mentat with some safety here. Like Dissecting Kit, Dagger, Mentat, trash the dagger. Get some specimen out of it. So yeah, let's do this. Trash the dagger. Ring is nice. It means that we have a decent shot of getting these intrigue cards to go off. And it's not like a super desirable combat, so we probably have a good shot at it. So Wata is kind of moving away from Swordmaster. It's not that slow though. Like they're gonna get it next round. So let's see. Nobody can actually contest High Council. So let's go Signet Ring to Arakeen. Okay, it's an awkward Seek Allies because it's not actually what we wanted to. Well, it's fine. I mean, we need the faction, right? Do the 4 deploy. That might be overkill, but our monster... Well, yeah, it's overkill. Yeah, that we didn't need to do that. So one of our... Basically, we're either not going to High Council or we're not playing Bounty Hunter, I think. Which is fine. I mean, if nobody goes to Carthag, then Bounty Hunter doesn't really have a lot of purpose to it. I'd rather fix my persuasion situation, although I don't even... At this point, I think I'm probably never getting a Spice Mist Flow, so I don't know. I might be kind of in the hole here. Take the High Council seat. That way, if we play Seek Allies, we can still afford, like, Embedded Agent. Well, maybe I should have gone Still Suits first. Yeah. Yeah, that was a mistake. Because now we literally cannot play the Seek Allies. Strategic push. Okay. We are actually so far behind on factions. I think we need to go for spy sats at this point. Oh man, what a crazy row. In the shadows. Oh my gosh, it just gets crazier. So, yeah, I just don't think we have a good card to use with Gola, to be honest. Quid Pro's not terrible. It certainly doesn't scream buy spy satellites. So where do we want to set up our alliance? Emperor seems like the most beneficial since we have somebody with firm grip. And that's the one that we're closest to. Alternatively, we could just try to make a rush for BG. Let's do Emperor. So Puppet, we have a seat on a High Council, so all we got to do is finish the research track. The only problem is we're pretty far behind on that metric. So at this point, I mean, we can go like this direction, make sure we hit this bump here. So we could either just go for the Emperor Alliance here, or we could take the Spice. I think the Spice is a better bet. We need to get the experimentation played. So let's go ahead and do this. Take our Scarab. Deploy. We've got a combat card, so it's worth at least trying. Seven persuasion now, so we can get something pretty hot. We could also Highliner. I don't know how good that is. We can buy high-end tech. Holtzman is strong. I just think round 5 might be too late for it. I don't know if there's a right answer here. I guess if we Highliner, we do get the 2 water back. Nobody else has really any water, so we could potentially hit Great Flat. I think I like that. Draw pile is 1 persuasion cards, so if I go to Arakeen, I'm pretty confident that I can still end at 5, which is currently the magic number. We also have a puppet. We don't really want to use it, but we could. Could also go to tech negotiation. The problem is we don't actually have any spice anymore. So I think it's Arakeen. Could also go research station. Research station keeps us persuasion neutral, and it does help us with the problem that we're having in the terms of the research progress. But then we're locked off from the spice, and I don't think that's a good idea. So Helena intends to beat us with some combination of artillery and cards. So let's go Arakeen. That's not really the card I wanted to draw. Let's I think this is enough. That can cover us 6 with the strategic push. Let's just try to win the combat. I don't really want to screw around here. So it looks like we're going to get the kinds here. I mean, TM might be better because we have a point from finishing the research track. But also this is an alliance, right? Like, although we only have 1 Fremen card, I can't detonate the row to keep it away from anybody else, and I don't really want Armand getting it. Well, he doesn't have the persuasion. So I think we probably will take TM here. Okay, so she only had 1 dagger. She can't mapes a troop in, so she actually pulls 1 out. She detonates the row, which really hurts me pretty badly. And then she invests in more daggers. Okay. So... I mean, Gene Manipulation is just generically a pretty decent card, so I'll just pick it up. Imperial Spy is okay. We do need to go to Emperor one more time, so I'm fine taking it. So a couple things have developed not to our advantage. Armand is sitting on 6 points, and because he's Armand, we have every reason to think that he's going to continue to pick up steam. So I think we're in a really tough spot, actually. In the Shadows is nice. That's going to give us some long-term something, and so will Dissecting Kit. But I think we are running out of time. I probably should just pop this as a windfall at this point, because otherwise I'm probably going to get stolen from. So if somebody plays a card, I'll respond with the strategic push. This tells me that Helena clearly doesn't have like super awesome combat cards, which I think is an important tell. So Dissecting Kit, we are not there yet. Oh man, that's annoying. 2 people with 2 water, so we need to go ahead and go to Great Flat. I don't feel comfortable deploying this early though, so I'm just going to keep him in my garrison. Ideally, we Dissecting Kit Dagger again, or we could Dissecting Kit Reconnaissance. It's not ideal. Mentat's off the table. Yeah, I guess we take it to Arakeen. We lose the Spice and the Scarabs. Yeah, this is going really badly. I think I would have been more in having more fun if I had picked Helena this game. To be honest. And I don't know that there's enough time left in the game for me to get the full value out of In the Shadows. We could also Dissecting Kit Dagger to pick up a tech. In round 6, I don't super want to lose Spice. Especially with Double Guild in the next hand. So, I'm just going to do this. Again, I don't feel comfortable deploying when Yuna's got 3 actions. So, I'm just going to stay out of it. G Manipulation is okay. I don't know. Our deck isn't trash enough for this to be super useful. I guess what we can say is if we shuffle our deck again, it'll significantly increase the odds that we see the Dissecting Kit in the Shadows. So there is something there. Although there's 3 people on High Spice. So I don't know that gambling on Highliner makes a ton of sense. Like, isn't Helena just gonna beat me to Highliner? Maybe. I mean, she's got her Diplomacy in her discard pile. There's no guarantee she gets there. We could go to Dreadnought. But that's gonna be more Spice expensive. And I don't know how Spice Satellites looks now. Because one of our zeros we're going to recover on within the Shadows. And we probably get another one off of Guild as well. Okay, that's insane. Well, we can't just let her have this. So here's the kind of the problem, too. If I go to Carthag, I'm in theft range. I suppose I could play the puppet, but I don't want to, but also like I don't think I'm gonna get the puppet point at this rate, so let's just do it. Okay, No Other Ways is easy to pop. I put in 3 troops, I win with Strategic Push without if I choose not to trash the dagger. So I mean I want to trash the dagger. She does have 3 cards, but last round she kind of implied that they're not useful. But then isn't Yuna just going to come in behind me and take the combat from me? Well, maybe if she has Hardy Warriors access, but not if she doesn't. I say we stay out of it, preserve our troops, trash our dagger. Basically, it should be pretty easy for Yuna to beat Helena here, if she's got any useful combat cards. Yes, if Yuna were tapped out and didn't have any agents, the correct play would be to deploy 3 here. And and challenge Helena on her tell that she doesn't have combat cards from last round. Yeah. Okay, so she's got the Hardy. So she kind of did what I expected. So it sounds like the decision not to deploy was correct. There's really nothing to buy here. We get the BG bump. Probably too late to matter. Reclaim Forces, Scarab. Not the most exciting way of playing, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. We're now in what I would say is probably like in the pack. Let me go to the bathroom real quick, sorry. Alright, sorry to be holding things up. Grand Vision? Ew. Okay, well... It is what it is, I guess. It's still a point for Guild. And we are Beast, so we recover the troops a little bit better. We kind of needed this to be a two-pointer, though. In all honesty. Smuggling could be good here since we're getting the freighter fleet on reveal. The problem is the spy satellites is no longer really worth much. And I don't think I'll be able to afford the other techs, so it's a problem. I could choose not to play the Imperial Spy and go double experimentation. I don't know. The problem with going Imperial Spy Wealth, again, as always, is that we have this stupid Quid Pro in our hand that we can't get rid of. We could go to Imperial Basin, and that's 3 spice, which is not too bad. It's probably something we should do regardless of anything else. Holy shit. Okay, Helena, I wasn't really familiar with your game. Well, I mean, she's kind of exposed herself, though. Like, because now we just respond by deploying more. Now we're over her with the strategic push. We could choose not to play the Imperial Spy in the interest of having one more dagger on reveal. Sure, a combat card would be better. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was an impressive amount of daggers, but unless she's got a combat card, it doesn't actually go anywhere. Because we tie her with the spy and we jump ahead with the push. I mean, I don't even know if this combat is worth putting that much effort into, but that's what I'm doing. If we know we have Guild on top of our deck, so if we go back to Haga Basin, then we can basically highline her again next round. That seems probably the correct thing to do, rather than play the spy, which we couldn't do anyway because Yuna went to Wealth. We can take Emperor with a faction bump here, but then we're not going to be able to mulligan an intrigue card. We do need faction bumps in 3 locations right now. So I think this is probably pretty reliably a point. Let's take Emperor. And drop 1 troop in just in case. I also think we can get the 2nd Scarab point by hitting the 2 Scarab for Solari spot. Although we're going to have to actually get more research, which is definitely not guaranteed. In fact, it doesn't... Not only is it not guaranteed, I would say it's probably not even likely. This is crazy, though. 19 on 1 troop is, like, mad impressive. So picking up a second in the shadows is cool. It's, I mean, we've already resigned ourselves to the fact that we're not getting any spice mist flows this game, I think. So, yeah. I mean, we can maybe get this puppet point if the game goes long, which based on this combat, I think it probably will. And if we hit research station. We're 1 water short of that. But we want to hit Still Suits anyway, so, I mean, maybe next round should look something like Still Suits Research Station. I don't know. But we get water from Highliner also, so I don't know, man. It's a close one. Let's go ahead and pick up the second in the shadows. Ooh, okay. Aren't enough troops available in your supply. Oh, interesting. Well, we could notch it up and try to get a flagship. It doesn't seem horrible. It's kind of slow. We don't have yellow in our next hand, so we can't really rely on that. I think we just have to take an L on the troops. And Fremen is like kind of the place that we don't have time to go to, so let's go ahead and take the Fremen point. Now we're back in the game, I think. Oh, that's going to cost me scarabs, isn't it? Right? Since you don't have enough troops in your garrison, but I'm confused. Did it subtract specimens or something? I don't think it did, but maybe it did. Otherwise, why would it tell me that? We buy Solari here so that we can buy the scarabs later. This is advanced thinking, guys. High level plays being made here. Okay. So we get 1 point on BG next time we get there. We've got our ring online now that we have Emperor Alliance. We've got Seek Allies in the next hand. But other than that, the hand isn't that good, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe we want to go Seek Allies to Selective and trash and in the shadows. And that's going to put us up significantly on BG. I don't want to get stolen from, so I'm playing this. The problem is that, like, we want to go Highliner next round, but then the actual faction bump on Guild means nothing to me. So we could try to compete with Unit for Fremen. I don't see that being necessary. Let's just go up on BG. That way, if we do... Oh, Harvest Cells, sweet. You know, that way if we do, like, the selective breeding play, it's also an alliance. Okay. So now things are kind of turning back our direction. We actually do have 9 persuasion right now. If we can pick up a water, we can bounty hunter guaranteed into the research station. The trash is helpful. We can trash and in the shadows. So it looks like what we're doing here is we're going Seek Allies to Highliner. That's going to give us the water that we need to bounty hunter into research station. When we bounty hunter into research station, we can trash before we draw. That'll get rid of it in the shadows to lock in the BG Alliance, give us more intrigue cards, and increase our persuasion of the cards that we draw into. Although, Yuna could take BG before we do. That is a possibility. And Helena could take Highliner before we do, but that's not what she's doing. So, 2 points on the line here. I think Highliner is still the play. Selective breeding is interesting in the sense that it would get me to 9 via BG, and then maybe we end up, you know, Spice Mist flowing to 10. But that's just 10. That doesn't win us the game. Combat is a better way to ensure that, especially with the bounty hunter in hand. So let's do this. We know that Helena doesn't have much combat gas and that her Bashar is in her discard pile. So I feel somewhat comfortable, investing in this combat. Especially since the other two players have enough spice to hit Highliner. And this blocks them from doing that. Trash will actually be relevant here, which it usually is not. Now, Yuna is probably going to take the BG Alliance before we have a chance to do that yet, and she is. And because she's doing the Beguiling Pheromones, it's looking like we're not going to be able to steal it back from her. But there is still an intrigue card in it for me. Oh, she locked it up. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, at that point, we don't need the In the Shadows anymore, right? So we might as well still trash it. What we want to see is an experimentation. Because there's like 2 points on the line for experimenting. So that one troop from Helena is telling. We do this. Trash first. Don't forget it. Intrigue card. Study Melange. Okay. Game really wants us to finish the intrigue, or the research track, and we did draw the experimentation. So that is going to happen. The only problem is, if we play the experimentation, we cost ourselves a Spice Must Flow. I don't love it, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Now, in order to get the Study Melange, we have to have a bunch of spice. So we actually don't get the Study Melange point just by researching. If we were to buy a Spice Must Flow right now and win the combat, we do have a direct path to 11. Whereas these, the research... Well, if we win the combat and we do the Scarabs, we also have a path to 11. So it gets us to 11 either way. We've got 1 Scarab from Specimens, and then we can get 2 here, and that's enough. However, I am putting myself into secret theft range. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Interesting decision. So she picks up the flagship, I assume. Oh no, somebody got the flagship already. It was Armand. Okay. So she doesn't want Holtzman. She doesn't. She does benefit from spice sets, I guess. Technically. So we want to go to Imperial Basin and not Haga Basin here. I don't know that it matters a huge amount, but I guess we could play Study Melange to just get our point more quickly via an SMF rather than an in-game point. Okay, so let's do this. Do that. Do this. Intrigue. Not really that useful. We can get it out of our hand, I guess, but it doesn't really do anything. This means that we are potentially at risk of losing the combat to Helena, who may have, you know, a lot of daggers. Although her biggest combat cards are in her discard pile, so I don't know. We'll see. Amana's pretty far behind on Scarabs. That's not surprising given that he did buy the Slurp. So Scarab point on reveal takes us to 9. Combat should hypothetically take us to 11. And then Spice Must Flow will take us to 12. That's assuming that we win the combat, which is not a given. Like, we don't have any way to get above 16 here. So if, you know, if Helena reveals for, like, I don't know, you know, 14 daggers, then yeah, she'll win the combat. Selective breeding is clearly an attempt on her end to get back to her Bashar. Problem is she's got 3 cards in deck. So I don't see it, but drawing more cards increases her odds, to be sure. Just in terms of drawing other things with her artillery. There's no sense in not using the puppet right now. Even if it is a point on endgame, we might as well get the point now. Quid Pro doesn't accomplish anything. We get a point from Study Melange if we don't win the combat, so you know, at worst we're at 11. Although it doesn't trigger if someone else wins the combat, most likely. The person that would beat us is Helena, and we wouldn't have a way to deal with that. Like, at that point, like, if Helena won the combat, then the game wouldn't end. So, yeah. Unless Armand has a way to close things out here, which I don't think he does. Dissecting Kit reveal is not useful anymore, unfortunately. We do get Signet Ring troops next round. Freighter Fleet reveal, probably not useful. I don't know. It's going to be a close game. Who has the Chimerki? I think it's Yuna, right? Yeah, Yuna. So Yuna's at 9 plus Chimerki. So if the game goes another round, we have to worry about her. Particularly because she's so close to getting the Scarab point. And if she has a Harvest Cells, then she will get that Scarab point now. I'm interested to see what Helena's got up her sleeve. Playing the Shutout Mapes is interesting because it's a 2-dagger reveal, and going to Still Suits does not help her. So she just doesn't have the juice, basically, at the moment. Basically, yeah, playing the Mapes is a concession that she has to make the game go longer. And she's notably behind everybody else. So even though the thing she's doing is cool, it doesn't seem like it's actually effective for winning the game. She actually pulls her troops out in anticipation that the game keeps going, which is weird because I clearly go to 12 here. So Armand would really have to have a very powerful intrigue for this to just not end in my favor. Well, I didn't think I was going to be able to win this one. We were stuck at like 1 or 2 points for the longest time. But if you can win a 2-point combat in round 8 and a 1-point combat, 1-ish point combat in round 7, then you can sometimes turn these things around. We also made a lot of progress on faction friendships relatively quickly. You know, we had the Fremen one, which made a big difference. Know their ways. Band respect was pretty useful. And I think also fairly relevant was the burst that we got of being able to basically take the Solari and turn it into 2 Scarabs. Like, quickly amass our Scarab points. So, if you asked me which of these 4 leaders is strongest in Immortality, I would tell you it was probably Beast. So, it's not like an amazing feat to beat these fellas, but it also goes to show that we didn't really do anything all that exciting, like in terms of deck building, right? Like, sure, we had 2 in the Shadows, but what did that give us? Basically nothing, right? Like, we would have had that in BG point anyway from the Grand Vision. So, you know, the Bounty Hunter is nothing special either. Just I think it's cool, but like these are all low cost cards, right? Like sometimes you just gotta play the fundamentals of the game and do things the old fashioned way without having to do anything flashy or awesome. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed.